been pretty active all my life, playing sports like basketball and soccer. It wasn't until my little brother played lacrosse until I learned about the game. I went to a few of his games and fell in love ever since. And I have been playing for as long as I can remember. Does anyone know anything about girls lacrosse, or has anyone played? I'm Carly Scholl, and I'm going to be teaching you 4 basic skills to play girls lacrosse. Before we practice, we need to make sure our stick is legal. To check, we need to make sure the ball is above this part of the head of the stick. It is important to make sure our stick is legal before we practice, because you want to practice how you play. Next, we're going to warm up our wrists by doing 5 pop-ups on each side. Now we're ready to learn our first skill. The first skill I'm going to be teaching you is cradling. You want your top hand at the middle of your stick, your bottom hand at the bottom of your stick. You want to move your wrists back and forth in like a spherical motion to keep the ball on your stick. You want to keep an angle on your stick to make sure the ball stays in. And you want to make sure you know how to do these skills with both sides, so in games, if you ever need to, you know how to do both sides. To switch, you bring your bottom hand to the top and your top hand to down, like so. The next skill I'm going to be teaching you is catching. To catch the ball, you want to have one hand mid-stick again, other hand bottom of the stick. You want to have your stick out, waiting for the ball, and as the ball comes to you, you want to watch the ball come into your stick and pull back as the ball comes. Again, you want to watch the ball and pull back. Here a few times. Catching is important to get the ball up the field as fast as you can, because the ball is faster than the feet. The next skill I'm going to be teaching you is throwing. To throw the ball, you want to have one hand mid-stick, other hand bottom stick. You want to raise your elbow like so, and you want to leverage your stick forward and come across your body, like so. When you're doing these skills, you want to make sure your feet are not set. You want to be moving around, so then it is game-like situations. Again, throwing is good for moving the ball up the field and making good passes, can set up players for goals, and it's important to know just in general for the game. The next skill I'm going to be teaching you about is ground balls. For a ground ball, you want to choke up on your stick. You want to put your hand right below your head. You don't want to put it on it, or else you'll get called for that. So you want your hand right below. You want your other hand at the bottom of your stick. You want to lunge down and scoop through. Again, I'll show you that. Hand top of the stick, other hand bottom. You want to lunge down and scoop through. Ground balls are super important when you either drop a pass or your teammate makes a bad pass and you need to get the ball off the ground before the other team does. Coaches say ground balls win games because the ball always ends up on the ground somehow, and you're always doing ground balls in games. So that's one of the most important skills that I would work on. Today I taught you 4 basic skills about girls lacrosse. The first skill being cradling, the second skill being catching, the third skill being throwing, and the fourth skill, ground balls. Thank you for listening. Any questions?